Hi everyone, to all the friends, families, and all the busy helping hands from English Play Corner. My name is Christopher and I'm a personal trainer from Salzburg. And in today's video, I'm going to show you a home workout which you can do with anyone you like. With these exercises, you're going to shape your body, improve your endurance, and strengthen your back. Meaning, most of the time, the lower part of your back, since we all know that's usually a part of your body that causes problems. How's this going to look like? Follow me. Before we get started, let's talk about the rules of this workout. There's only two. Rule number one, do every movement nice and controlled. You shouldn't fall asleep by doing it, but you should always control the movement so you always feel the muscle. Rule number two, always breathe in and out regularly, so never hold your breath. It's not very good for your blood pressure, and you want to try to relax your body in a sort of way. Next, before every exercise, you're going to get an instruction on reps, sets, and break times. What's a rep? So, let's take the squat for example. You go down and back up. That will be one rep, okay? Each exercise, you're going to do 15 reps, and after 15 reps, you're going to have a 30-second break, and then comes the next set. Most of our exercises are going to have 3 sets. So there's reps, sets, and there's a break time. Okay then, exercise number 1. This exercise is going to help shape your glutes, the backside of your hip, and for all those who have back problems, it's going to help with exactly this region and make you more stable down here. What do you need for it? Not really much. Something like a little chair, yeah, could be a couch also, something that you could lay your feet on, and a mat. That's all you need. So how's this gonna work? You're just gonna lay on your back, flat on your back. You're gonna put your feet up, just like this. Lay your hands flat on the floor, and out of your heels, you're gonna push your hip all the way up. Squeeze your butt as hard as you can, and then lower your hip shortly before touching the ground. And then you're gonna push your hip back up, squeeze as hard as you can, and lower your hip almost all the way to the ground. This exercise is we're gonna do for about 15 reps, take a 30-second break, and then come to the second set, break, and then the third set. Okay then, exercise number 2, the classic squat. What's a squat going to do for us? It's going to build more strength in your lower body. It's going to shape your thighs, your glutes, and your hamstrings. And it's also going to support your spine, mostly your lower back. There's different variations of the squat. Some know this one, some know that one. I'm going to show you the very classic squat variation. Yeah, it's pretty simple. You really don't need anything for it. If anyone has bad back problems, I'll show you a variation which will make that easier on your spine. So, basic variation. About hip wide. That's what you're going to do with your feet. Upright torso. You can stretch your hand forward and keep them on your chest. This doesn't really matter. I'm going to stretch them forward, raise my chest, and I'm just going to go sit down as far as I can go. Try to keep my chest up, and then I'm going to go almost all the way up. See how I always keep my knees bent? You really want to watch out for that, for keeping tension on the muscle. And then you're going to lower back down. So this is basically how it should look like. If anyone notices, wow, I can do 15 reps, and it's actually pretty easy, and you want to make it a little bit tougher, just lower it down. Reduce the speed. If anyone doesn't make the 15 reps, it's totally fine. You're always going to want to set something as a goal that you can't do yet. Okay? Alright everyone, back to the classic squat. For everyone who has real bad back problems, all you're going to need for this exercise is something to hold on, a table, a chair. It can be anything you find. all you have to do is bring yourself into squat position, just as we discussed before. You're gonna hold on to that object. Let's say in my case it's a table, maybe a little bit lower. Keep your torso upright, but lay your hands, basically your upper body weight, onto the table, and then you're gonna do the basic squat. And you're always gonna wanna hold on to that object, but keep your torso upright and raise your chest, and then you're gonna go up, and then you're gonna go back down. This will reduce the pressure in your spine and help you with exercise. This exercise variation is also for someone who just started out or has never done a squat before. Alright, one classic after another. The classic push-up. How does a push-up work? We're gonna go down on our mat. Our hands should be about shoulder width, maybe a little bit wider, okay? So you can use the width of your mat as a measurement. Put your hands flat on the floor. Extend your legs all the way back. Try to keep your hip straight, so don't fall down. If you're not really sure, I'd rather keep your hip a little bit more up in the air, like this. And then you're gonna go almost all the way down, and then all the way back up. Almost all the way down, and all the way back up. Okay? You could also use a little bit of a wider position in your hands. That's totally fine if it feels weird in your shoulder. For anyone who has difficulties with the push-up, same position, but go on your knees. The farther back you keep your knees, the harder it's gonna be. So for real beginners or anyone who still has to build up their strength, just put your knees a little bit more forward. Same technique, almost all the way down, all the way up, almost all the way down, all the way up. Alright. Okay, let's get to the fun part, core. First exercise is a so-called crunch. It's similar to a sit-up, okay, but two different exercises. The crunch is a lot more effective for your abs and is gonna reduce all the pressure from your spine, okay? I'll show you how this works. We're gonna lay on our mat. Put our feet up in the air. Our legs are gonna stay stable, so this part shouldn't move. You're gonna put your hands on your thighs, and the first movement is you're gonna push your belly button as hard as you can into the ground, and then from the top part of your chest, you're gonna slowly wanna roll inch by inch towards your thighs and squeeze your abs together. See how this part stays on the ground and it's a round movement? That's a crunch. And then you're slowly gonna go back right before your head touches the ground, and then you're gonna repeat the whole thing again. Push your belly button in the ground, and from your chest, slowly, inch by inch, you're gonna wanna squeeze your abs together. For those who really wanna feel it, hold it for a second or two. Have fun. Okay, special exercise for the side part of your core. This is gonna be really important to improve the strength in your lower back. And we're not gonna have any reps on this exercise, we're gonna have time. So we're gonna do the left and the right side separate from each other. We're gonna switch that left, right, left, right, left, right. So each side 3 times. We're gonna start with holding those exercises for 20 seconds. Anyone who has a hard time starts with 15. Anyone who feels good with it, raise it by up to 30. So, side plank, basic variation. Very important, notice before we get started, always use a mat. So you're gonna wanna maybe even use a pillow where you're gonna put your elbow onto it, okay? Very important to not get any injuries. Put your forearm onto the ground, onto your pillow. Extend your feet all the way back and try to keep a straight line. So your ear, your shoulder, your hip, and your ankle should be one exact line. And then you're gonna raise your hip as far as you can. And then you're gonna wanna hold this position 20 seconds in the beginning. If anyone has difficulties with this, if anyone feels a weird feeling somewhere, sometimes the knees maybe even the shoulder, lower it pressure onto one knee. The other leg is extended. And then raise your pelvic again. And then just hold it. Makes it a lot easier. Okay? Give it a try. Last strength exercise. This final exercise is going to be for the lower part of our back and also for the upper part of our back. Specifically, most of the part of the spine. This exercise we're going to do while standing up. And just to notice beforehand, this will feel different. This will feel a little bit weird. You might have the feeling, am I doing this right? But trust me, out of experience, that's normal, and usually you're doing a pretty good job. And this is an exercise that you really have to practice, which will give you more mobility and more strength in the lower part of your spine, okay? Your feet are going to be about hip width, okay? Just make sure you have a good and stable stand. You're going to bend your knees a little bit, and you're going to want to push your hip back like this, so your upper body falls forward a little bit. You're going to want to start out of this position. You really want to extend your spine all the way back. Usually you would say, I don't know if that's good. In this case, it's totally fine. So, where do I put my hands? I usually put them on my chest, and then from my head, starting up here, I'm going to roll myself together. Keep tension in your butt, really squeeze the cheeks together, and then you're going to go almost all the way down. And you'll feel a bit of a stretch down here. That's a good thing, but always keep your cheeks together. And then starting from the very bottom, inch by inch, you're gonna roll up, push your chest out, but keep your chin at your body. Look at this position, how it's kind of like nice and round. Look how I'm all the way extended here. That's totally fine. For those of you who this feels a little bit intense, it's just the muscle, you're fine. Don't go all the way up, okay? As I said, this exercise will need a little bit of practice. If you have any questions, you can contact me anytime. Give it a try. Mobility, just as important as strength training. In the strength exercises we've done just before, you'll automatically have mobility in those certain exercises. Some strength exercises do that, but there's certain muscle groups we have to stretch additionally. Let's go check it out. Mobility exercise number 1, the front part of your hip. This exercise will reduce the stress in the lower part of your back. You're going to go on your knees, put one foot forward, keep your hips straight, lift your chest, stretch your arms into the sky. Imagine you want to touch the sky with your fingertips, so really stretch as far as you can go, and then push your hip forward as far as you can, and then extend back. And you're going to want to hold this position 20 to 30 seconds. And then you're going to come out of it real slow. Once per side, 20 to 30 seconds left, 20 to 30 seconds right? And that's it. You don't have to do any more, but those 20 to 30 seconds should be real intense. If someone's like, I pushed my hip all the way forward, but I really don't feel it, am I doing this right? This can happen. Sometimes if a muscle is very stretchable, very tense, you might not feel it as much as you would like to. Give it a try. Have fun with it. Mobility exercise number 2. We're going to do a special kind of mobility exercise for your chest, okay? What you're going to want to do is you're going to look for some kind of corner, something where you can lay your hand on, just like this position. So if you look at my hand, it's on that corner, stabilizing my upper body. My stance is going to be very wide, okay? Very, very wide. You're going to bend your knees a little bit, squeeze your behind together, and then you're slowly going to want to let your body weight fall forward. Always control this movement. Do it real slow, and then you're going to feel a stretch right in here, okay? So, the further you go forward, or the more your feet go back, of course, the more intense it's gonna be. So if you look at my hand right here, my hand is holding my upper body. And this is gonna give me the stretch right in here. Make my chest more stretchable and reduce tensions in my neck. You're gonna wanna do this once per side, 20 to 30 seconds, and then you're good. All right, everyone, you made it. I hope you all had fun working out. If anyone has any additional questions, or if anyone needs additional information, please feel free to get in contact with me through my website. You'll see the address after the clip. At this point, I would like to take the chance to thank everyone who supports our system, anyone who supports our society and stays strong in these crises. As you would say in German, gesund bleiben. I wish you all the best and take care.